Hey guys and gals, today we are going to review, it's ridiculous. We're gonna review the Flux 365. Okay. It's cool, it's neat, it's niche. Flux was super cool. They sent us the Raider, the TLR7 sub, the antimatter gas pedal for the TLR7 sub, which I think is a fantastic accessory for the 365 Raider. We also have the barrel shroud because we are running the Flux barrel with the pre-production P365 fuse slide, which is the Lindsay. If you know, you know. But we do have the full-length barrel there, so you can see how the barrel's exposed. This barrel shroud is also like a thumb over bore opportunity if you're running a higher optic. But we'll talk about the shroud later because there's something that I'd like changed to the shroud. But we'll talk about that later. We've got a handful of rounds through it. This is like a cheek stop so that when you're on the gun, you don't go past this limit and get hit in the face by your slide. You are putting a pistol very close to your face. I don't personally recommend running a compensator on this gun this close to your face. TBI is a real thing from concussion. And I wouldn't doubt if you get thousands of rounds through one of these compensated near your forehead that you will suffer problems. But right now we have the longer barrel on it. I think this product would really shine if we took the shroud off, had a threaded barrel and had a little can on it. I have seen the 365s with a threaded barrel and a short can, and I think that's a really cool configuration. I think that would probably be the most ideal for this little setup, is having a suppressor on it since you are having a gun so close to your face. You are tracking a red dot on a reciprocating slide. Again, I think the shroud would be really cool if they had a optic mounting up here on this shroud, so you have an optic farther away from your face and non-reciprocating. I think that would be the more ideal optic location. Starting to track that dot faster, like I'm dropping about as 1 or 2 shots per mag, maybe 3 shots on that one. It's about the same. Getting better at it, getting faster with it, which is good. The holster is big, but it's not that big. It's about the same footprint as a X300 Glock holster. So here's our level 2 holster. We're using the Neomag Alias T-Post, which we have on our website for sale. I'm using a small bushing kit to offset it. And then I'm using our Daisho carbon fiber Tegris wing to create a backup mag carrier effect. And clips right into place. Instead of having a concealment claw on a IWB holster, it actually uses the backup magazine on the Flux Raider to create that turning the grip of the gun into the body effect. As you draw, you gotta take a little bit of practice getting that stock deployed. Headshot. I think they do get to claim the title fastest from concealment appendix draw PDW. I think they do get to keep that and claim that title because it's fairly quick. On the first prototypes, they did have this elastic here as the way the stock would deploy, and you had to do a little flick to get it out when you draw. On the production models, they added this chunky boy spring. My spring has popped out on the range before, so I filled the pocket with whatever adhesive they used did break loose, so I did fill it with RTV, high heat gasket material, stuff the spring in there, collapse the stock overnight, let it cure, and I haven't had any issues with that spring dropping out. When you do fold it, there's a groove here for the elastic, but if you fold it, it doesn't like to chase the groove, so when I'm folding it up, I simply just give it a little thumb job. I give it a little push so that it lines up with the groove and I'm not putting adverse tension on this stock assembly. The one they sent us did have the SBR stock foot that's textured. We have the pistol brace foot on it now. The stock version is a lot better against your shoulder. It creates a lot more surface area. It's got knurling on it. So if you do a more heads up approach to shooting, you gotta pocket this brace right where your clavicle meets the meaty part of your shoulder. When I'm shooting like rifle stocks, I kinda perch it right on top. When you tuck in tight, if you ride this a little bit towards your clavicle and you start riding bone, it does not feel good. If you do intend to SBR your fire control group, the actual stock foot is the way to go with this platform over the brace. Now again, interstate travel, you gotta remember, you can't just simply travel or fly with an SBR unless you file your ATF paperwork ahead of time. So having that pistol brace foot on it makes this a neat little gun that you can travel with, fly with really easy, not worry about it being an SBR. Yep, gotta remember the mechanics there. The grip texturing is really comfortable here. I really like it. It's a small gun for a big dude, so when you get kind of compact, I like how they created this feature here, because when you are super high and compressed, it doesn't really hot spot you too much. I would like to see a little bit more chamfering on this section of the grip. When you're a big dude and you're this compressed, you go from having a normal grip where it fits to having to roll my grip outward a little bit more, because you can see this is pretty much how I have to shoot it for how big I am. And now my thumb is in the support position against the receiver, and it doesn't really take up all that room there, because I'm not gonna grip it like that, and then it's hard for me to get my finger in the trigger guard. So I'm gonna choke down on it a little bit and use my thumb as a support element there. I'm getting a little bit of trigger guard pinch. Because I'm not gripping the gun like you would normally grip it, like this, my finger is you can see the back of my finger. As the trigger does a trigger return, it kind of pinches my finger as it goes forward because of the gap between the trigger and the inside of the trigger guard. And it's just because I got big hands and I kind of got to choke down on the gun that now my trigger finger is dragging the bottom of the trigger guard. And every time I pull that trigger, a little bit of this flesh is getting pinched under the trigger, between the trigger guard and the trigger. You know, this is me, guys. This is just things that nuances that I'm noticing. You know, after you shoot for a couple hours at the range and everything starts to hurt and you're like, oh, I feel that now. Guys, if you're trying to get super fast out of the holster with this thing, just be careful. There is a learning curve to it. You know, you can stick your fingertip there and push it. You know, I got long enough hands that on the draw, I can kind of just go up and over because I'm trying to avoid that trigger guard. I don't necessarily think it's unsafe. You do need to practice if you plan on carrying this inside the waist. As ridiculous as it sounds, people are doing it. But you do have to get really comfortable at kind of getting it stable, bringing it up and deploying the stock as you're in a more stable position. There's some folks on the internet that are getting crazy fast out of these, but yeah, it's a cool system. I think Flux, some people think it's super niche. I do agree it's a niche product. Do I think this is going to replace a PDW bag gun? No. I think this does have some really unique opportunities. We showed it to some military folks that were visiting us for some of our related products, and they made the suggestion that this might be a really good sidearm for like a flight crew, because you have the stability and capabilities of placing really, really accurate, slower fire shots from the shoulder. If you've never shot a pistol before, you're able to pick up this and shoot this a lot better and easier than shooting a pistol for the first time and learning all the hand mechanics on shooting a pistol. I think like if you're a super good pistol shooter, this isn't going to replace your pistol. If you're not really a good pistol shooter and you really want to get into a PDW platform and you want something that you can get and accurately shoot a slower fire, this might be the product for you. I don't think it's going to replace like the Rattler or PDWs like that, but as for a gun that if you're going to do like 1 or 2 shots and snap and transition between your targets, like pop, pop, snap, pop, pop, snap, you can be really, really fast with this. For people that are really, really good shooters with pistol, you're probably going to stack rounds faster and more accurately with your pistol than this. And that's just an observation I've had since having this. Having the slide and the optic reciprocating so close to my face, my dot tracking is a little bit different because the return to 0 is less consistent than shooting a pistol. But there is a learning curve. You do have to learn how to shoot this, get comfortable with the recoil element of it, get comfortable with it kind of pushing your face around a little bit more than a conventional PDW. I think the guys at Flux are unbelievably intelligent, kind, and awesome people to work with. And they're really just kind of daring to be different and trying new things that other people would say, you know, I don't agree with that. Some people might call it stupid. Some people might call it hype. But if people aren't making those sacrifices and taking those chances with a product line, you know, how do we evolve as a community in the firearms community if we're always bashing innovation as, oh, that's stupid? These guys are definitely pushing the innovation card really far. I think with all their products, their antimatter scope switch, again, a niche product, it might fit really, really well in one market. It might not be the end all be all optic mount system for like a military unit or whatever. But again, it has a place. I think all these products do have a place. And it's cool seeing companies take chances on super cool products that didn't exist before they dreamt them up. You can't dog innovation, because if we always bash innovation, then nothing's ever going to change. These dudes are producing something unique. And I think a lot of people like that. So I think it's cool. Is this going to replace my carry gun? No. Is this going to replace my Rattler in my bag? No. But it might work out hugely for somebody else, someone that's different than me. Anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video on the P365 Flux Raider. It's a really cool product. It's really innovative. And, you know, don't stop dreaming. We need people to dream up cool projects like this and cool products like this that, you know, will change the way people think and apply themselves in this industry. So hope you enjoyed it. If you think this is a super cool product, go and get yourself one. They're pricey, but they're neat. And a lot of people really like them, and it might not be the product for everybody, but we really enjoy it. We enjoy shooting it, and we love trying out new things. So good luck to the guys at Flux. We think you guys are always on to something cool and new all the time, and keep dreaming.